Welcome back, everybody, to the Model Mindset. I am Brian. We got my boy John. Today's episode, we're going to talk about nutrition, yet it's going to be a spin from when we talked about nutrition with April Flores, which was a great discussion, right, John? And
Yeah,
we
man, for
talked
sure. Yep.
about simple changes to to help make a change, like a healthy change. And
Yeah.
so this discussion, we wanted to take it a step further, right? We want to give basically nutrition made easy, right? So some simple hacks, not just a salad, and kind of, try to give the audience some helpful tips when it comes to nutrition.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're two dudes who kind of, follow the basic 80-20 rule for the most part, right? And we'll
100%, yeah.
jump into that in a little bit here, but um I think it's such an intimidating thing a lot of times, man, where like you're talking to someone and they ask how you eat and you when you say like I eat pretty clean and they have these assumptions of like what eating clean is.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like reality, it's like it's really not that bad. It's not it's
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
Yeah.
You just got to find like your groove and what you like. You know what I mean? Like it's very simple, and you don't have to make it complex. And that's kind of what we want to touch on today is like this not making it and overthinking it to be this complex thing, because it's actually pretty easy if you
Yeah.
just kind of just apply basic tips we'll give you guys today. I mean, it's fun, man. It's actually a nice challenge.
Yeah. And the other thing too that we'll go into is food affects your mood. So if you are treating your body with processed food, it definitely is going to affect your energy, your mood, like we were just talking about,
Mm-hmm.
in your behavior, which we'll
Yeah.
go into about an Oxford study in a little bit. But I
Yeah.
remember my when I went full vegan, my buddy Dan was like, "What do you eat? Do you eat just like nuts and salads and that's it?" And I think that it was a misconception where that's all I eat,
Yeah.
but it's more than that, you know. And
Yeah.
so we'll go into some easy nutrition stuff. But when did you really start to focus on nutrition? Like, have you always been really focused on nutrition?
You know what, man? Like it's the way it started was very like bro.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it was
Dirty
like just
bulking.
like, yeah, man. Like kind of, but like not really though. Like I had intentions like when I first started working out of like I knew the value of protein and what it did to gain size and specifically muscle. And it was, but I used to do like this dumb shit, man. I remember, dude. I still have it. I mean, I've had this thing forever now. The OG George Foreman grill, like the OG one,
I think you still have
and
one.
dude, I still got it. And so I used to make, ironically enough, we were just talking about before we started recording. You had tuna, so I used to make tuna melts. But me being 15, 16 years old, it'll be like, well, I'm gonna put peanut butter on it too because that's more protein. And like,
Oh, you used
dude, isn't that fucking
tuna and peanut
chaos?
butter?
Swear to God, dude,
Oh my God.
chaos. Like thinking like that was like the secret. And then I would take like a protein shake and then creatine and like like I would like think it was like the coolest thing, right? Like
Yeah.
this is like this dumb kid me, right? Once I started working out though, man, I always had that emphasis on like try to eat high protein because I just knew the
Yeah.
value of it.
Mhm.
And I never was like a big sweets kid. Like I never liked cake. I was never into that kind of stuff. I was never a big like chip kid or like snack kid. It's just not like what I was about,
Yeah.
So like, and even like now as an adult, it just carried into my adulthood. So I kind of just had carried that through, and I never really had a hard time not like getting caught up in that like snack world. Like that never
Yeah.
was really me. So, once I started working out though, when I was like 16, that's kind of when I viewed food as fuel and like it had a purpose. And then this has
Yeah.
kind of grown over time and like understanding it better and what certain foods bring to me now. Like that's like a fun thing for me to research and kind of know like the value of the things I eat now. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, probably when I was like 16. What about you?
It's funny. I was just actually talking about this with my mom today, as a matter of fact. And so I was giving her a compliment because when we were younger, she was very health conscious when it came to making meals.
Hmm.
So it was, normally a protein, you have your veggies, and then you have your carbs, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so just being brought up that way, naturally I would sway towards healthier options, but of course, when you have alcohol, you tend to
Right.
make less healthier decisions, right?
For
So I think
sure.
there was
Right.
a point when, I would say probably in my mid 20s, later on in my, yeah, I'd say mid 20s to maybe early 30s, where when I was consuming a lot of alcohol, I would not make the best decisions when it comes to nutrition. Now,
Yeah.
just so I think at that point in time, I really wasn't concerned about my nutrition because I was very active still. So I was still like working out,
Right.
still doing cardio, but I mean, it's tenfold now. I'm very dialed in with nutrition because I know how important it is, right? And
Yeah.
and plus two, we have kids,
Yep.
and we are not perfect, and I'm not saying that at all. But I read a study that a child with one obese parent has a 50% chance of being obese. When
That's wild.
both parents are obese, their children have an 80% chance of obesity. And obesity can increase a child's risk for serious and chronic medical problems like type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, orthopedic problems, and liver disease. So that's I mean, your reasons, right? You got to have high reasons, you big old reasons
That's
to
it.
eat healthy, to be active, and
Yeah.
it is my boys and my wife.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle choice, and I think one that you don't realize. I think the effects you're having on your kids, like
Right.
with the way you eat, right? And but also, I mean, like as a parent, though, as a dad, I mean, I let my kids eat what they want at this point of
Yeah.
their
No,
life.
I mean,
I do.
same here. Yeah.
And if I saw what they were eating affecting them in a negative way, say where they would be categorized in the things you were just talking about there, I would certainly make adjustments.
Right.
And when the time comes and they're willing to eat more things, and I don't got to worry about them only eating certain things, and now it's just like, God damn it, just eat something, but um,
Yeah.
but it's like that time will come where it's like, all right, let's all make a very conscious effort now to dial in, right?
Right.
And I think they'll see that because like they'll understand it more, on how I eat and stuff like that. They'll probably have some interest in at least knowing why, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that it's important. I think it like anything else in a household. It's learned behavior. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so
100%.
it just kind of goes back to what we talk about all the time with epigenetics, all these different things like that go with learned behaviors when
Yeah.
children are young. It's all the
Yeah.
same thing, man.
It's true. I mean, if you think about it too, if you're trying to make healthier decisions, you just said it right there. Your environment is critical. So
Oh
if
yeah,
you have a trigger, my trigger was Oreos, not just single or double stuff. It was mega stuff, and
you
I
go
would.
mega.
Oh yeah, dude, I don't fuck around. I go mega. So I would get, dude, I would look forward to this. Like every night, dude, I would grab like a cup of almond milk. I grab like four Oreos, mega stuff
You
Oreos.
dunk them bitches.
Fuck yes. And dude, I just would sit down, recline, and watch some Netflix and chill with my
Oh,
Oreos. And this was
with my
like
Oreos.
a nightly occurrence, man. Nightly
Yeah.
occurrence. So finally, I find now this is a while ago. I haven't had them in quite some time. And finally, I was like, all right, Val, you can't buy these anymore because
Yeah.
it's like it's I can't stop.
Right.
I'll
Right.
crash. I won't fucking sleep.
Oh my God.
So the thing is, out of sight, out of mind. I
Right.
don't miss them because I don't have them, right? And so I
Yep.
think that's the thing too is when your environment is going to give you those, those basically those
Temptations.
temptations.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to remove that, right?
Yeah. And this is the thing too. All right. So I guess we'll kind of get into it a little bit here on like, okay, so what do you do, right?
Right,
How do you right solve these issues of starting to eat healthier, healthier, right?
right,
And that's I think that's a great first step is out of sight, out of mind.
100%.
Or like we're not sitting there and telling you guys to go out and to stock your cabinets with all these organic foods or only whatever the highest quality foods you can find. That's not what it is. It's just eliminate those things that are your triggers, like you said,
Yes.
mega
Yeah.
stuff Oreos.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Now we
sure.
still have, listen, when Val makes those cookies, right?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Our friend Paula here makes cookies with the girls, and like we fucking hammer those bitches when they're in the house. Like those
Oh, hell
cookies
yeah.
go down smooth, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but that's something that like
It's
it's not
rare.
always there.
Right. It's rare.
You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
we know that, and that's, I think, the biggest step you can take is kind of just eliminating those foods, and then just starting to implement some maybe more of those like healthier options that are
Yeah.
still something you enjoy to eat. You know what I mean? Like for
100%.
us, we're big fruit people, right? We love
Yeah.
fruit.
Love it.
It's easy. I liked what we were talking about it tonight, actually, down at the field at one of our camps, and you were talking about the apple concept, right?
Right.
So kind of explain that, because that was actually an interesting thought too. I think that kind of applies here what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I got to give credit where credit's due. My wife told me about this.
Yep.
So sometimes when I would want a snack and maybe I was craving something salty like pretzel rods, I have a weird fetish with pretzel rods as
You
well.
do fuck with pretzel rods a lot,
Yeah, dude,
actually.
they're
But
good.
it's
They're
like,
good.
all right. So real,
Sorry,
a
I'm not
quick
going to go down
side.
this rabbit hole, are we?
We're not. But a quick side where it's like we'll go over like for like our men's group sometimes or whatever, and we'll kind of swap houses, whoever's house we're at, and we'll be chilling there, and it'll be like 9:30 or something like that, and BG will get up, and we'll be talking like, hey, you want a rod? It's just, pulls
At
out a
least I'm
single.
hospitable, man.
Well, you a single rod. I'm looking at him like, fuck, like only
Josh had
one.
two. Yeah,
He
Josh
did,
had
he
two.
did.
Yeah,
I
that's
know,
right.
but like you're so like
Because they're so fucking good. That's why I got to share the
you
wealth.
are no, but right, but you're just like only having one.
Right.
Right, like you'd
Yeah.
have one, and I'm looking at you like only one, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So like you're still, like you said, it's a weakness, but you're limiting what you get. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So there's a difference between hunger and cravings. I think
Yeah,
everybody understands like you might be craving like chocolate or something, right?
yeah.
So Val told me about when you are experiencing like a craving
Mm,
or you think you're hungry,
mm,
you say, am I hungry enough to eat an apple? And so when I have that, because sometimes I may get bored at work or something, and I'll get
mm,
up and I'll go for like a little walk or something, and I'll say, am I hungry enough to have an apple? And if the answer is no, I don't eat anything. But if the
mm,
answer is yes, I grab an apple.
mm,
Dr. Shaw said the same thing, but her concept was when she's experienced a craving, she asked herself, am I hungry enough to have a bowl of vegetables? And I know people are being like, what the fuck? Okay. The
yeah.
concept is, are you truly hungry? Because if
Mm,
the answer no, I'm not going to have a bowl of vegetables, or no, I'm not hungry enough to have an apple, you're just either bored, you're experiencing a craving, and you
mm.
got to change your state, change your mind, change what you're focusing on.
Right. And there was another cool thing about cravings too, and God damn it, I can't remember who was talking about it. And it was someone we follow. It might have been Sean Stevenson or somebody, I forget, but you might have heard it when I say it. They were talking about like coffee creamer, and like so people have like their morning coffee, and they'll put like their flavored creamer. I'm one of them. Okay. And they'll put like the flavored creamer in there, right? And that alone, that creamer alone will stimulate cravings for you like midday. So if you're having that creamer in the morning with your coffee, and you're not using like a natural sweetener or something like that for your coffee, and some people will use even like things like maple syrup, which is kind of weird, but
Mm.
like more like natural sweeteners. And if you're using like a flavored creamer, that will trigger midday for you a craving for more of something like that. So like, and I found that pretty interesting, because you wouldn't think of it like that's just coffee creamer, you know what I mean? But like those things will have a domino effect, and make cravings continue, and it'll
Yeah.
happen about lunchtime if you have it in the morning. So like that time frame, all that way that works, it's a constant domino effect, and you're just going to keep having those cravings.
Yeah. That's
So
wild.
right? So like if you
Yeah.
could find substitutes for like the sweet things you like that are more natural or whatever it may be, that don't cause those cravings because of whatever else is involved in those creamers or whatever other things that are causing these cravings, then you can eliminate the problems you have later in the day as well. So I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
That is wild, man. That is wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. So let's get into, well, first of all, I want to share something that I found fascinating that actually came from Sean Stevenson. So we might as well go
Right.
through
Okay.
this
All
right
right.
now. Um,
Great
and what's
podcast,
fast?
by the way, for those
Yeah,
who don't listen. Sean Stevenson, the Model Health Show, super, super good show. It can
he
be a
makes
little long and a little,
everything simple. He makes everything
yes.
super simple. Has two solid books, which is Eat Smarter and then Sleep Smarter, and
Hmm.
both books are amazing.
Yeah,
Highly recommend.
he's an awesome dude. Awesome dude.
So when we're talking about how food can impact your behavior, researchers at Oxford University wanted to see what would happen by improving the nutrition of prison inmates.
Hmm.
So it was a randomized, placebo-controlled study, which is basically the gold standard for clinical trials. It was a 4.5 month study, and this
Hmm.
included an omega-3 supplementation. So something like fish oil or krill oil, right?
Right. Yep.
They also increased the vitamins and minerals they were consuming. So nothing complex, and what that means as far as like the vitamins, minerals, primarily whole foods.
Right.
Okay. The placebo group did not get any of the omega-3 supplementation, and they did not increase their vitamins and minerals through whole foods. Now, what was fascinating is after collecting the data, the inmates that received the omega-3 supplement and improved nutrition had a 35% drop in behavioral incidents versus the placebo group. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. But most notably, there was a 37% drop in violent offenses. So that means their tendency towards hurting another person dropped 37% just by improving their nutrition.
That
And
is insanity.
that isn't insane. But
That's
this
insane.
this is an example of the power of really focusing on improving your nutrition and the profound effect it can have on you
Oh
because it
my God.
influences your behavior.
Does, like you said at the start, man, your food is your mood, right?
Yeah.
And it's, what's so interesting too, when I saw this was that when we spoke at Cybulski
Mm.
last month, remember how the inmates were asking about nutrition,
Oh, totally. Totally.
right? And
Yeah.
they were very interested in that. They really wanted to know about like the nutritional side of things and how we apply nutrition in our lives and what we value as far as what we intake and those things. And then they're looking at us after we talked about it, and one guy raised his hand. He's like, "But we don't have a choice here.
Right.
Like, we just get what we get."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Well, yeah, that we understand that." And we kind of we went down a different road at that point to kind of like talk about controlling the things you can control and those things. But um, there's there's clear statistics showing in a controlled environment like a prison
Yeah.
where behavior fluctuates so rapidly, so drastically,
Yeah.
that consuming the correct foods, vitamins, minerals, omegas, all these things, having such a massive impact on
Yeah.
behavior and violence specifically is incredible and is mind-blowing that that's not something that's like widely put out there
Yeah.
to prisons and to rehabilitation centers and all these different things, like how incredibly valued nutrition is.
Yeah. And there was even a study found that food and exercise was to be 1.5 times more effective than medication for treating depression.
And we've been talking about that for a while, man. We talked
Yeah.
about that with Lori Singer,
Yep.
right? We talked
Yeah.
about that. We've talked about that with many professionals,
Yeah.
and they all say the same thing, right? And
Yeah.
we're not, when we talk about it, we're very careful because
Yeah.
we don't say that medication's not necessary at
Right.
times for certain people for certain situations. Not what we're saying,
Right.
but we are saying it can help.
Oh,
We're
absolutely.
we're very, very, very big believers in that. So
Yeah.
that's something we've been saying for a while, man. So like,
We're living
new
proof, man.
right, and then we always talk about it amongst ourselves, and we say it sometimes here where it's like, listen, fitness is medicine for your mind.
Right.
Like that's how we view it. That we value it that much, but because we know the effects it has, and when you couple it with high value nutrition in your life, there you're going to see drastic changes, right?
Without a doubt.
So when we eat and how we eat, I think would be interesting for some people to hear
Yeah.
because we're different. We're
Yep.
certainly different in the way we
Mhm.
eat, the times we eat, the things we eat, all right. Um, but I think it all has the same underlining meaning,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So, kind of like walk us through real quick, man. Your habits, what
Yeah.
you eat regularly, for the most part, when you're in the most control.
Yeah.
What's the day look like for you? What are you pumping besides mega stuffed Oreos?
So I think the easiest thing to do is to break out your plate into a protein, a carb, a veggie, and fat. Okay, good
Hmm.
fat. So what I'll do now is I'll give, you know, a couple protein options, a couple carbs, a couple veggies, and a couple fats, so that you can really make, say, maybe 4 meals for a week or something for lunch.
Hmm.
So for proteins, if we want to start off, say, with breakfast, we could do eggs, okay, as our protein. For
Hmm.
our carbs, it could be blueberries, right? For veggies, you could have like I like spinach, but
Hmm.
for your fats, you could do some avocado, right?
Right.
So that's an
Right.
example of one meal. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if we go to lunch, protein, you could have your chicken. Typically, you could have chicken breast. I don't eat chicken breast, but I have incorporated eggs. So I've
Yep.
incorporated eggs back because they're a superfood. Let's be honest,
Right.
they're also a brain food.
Love eggs.
So you either have your chicken, your salmon, your eggs, okay? Then your carb, I have
Hmm.
sweet potatoes. And then for veggies, I normally do broccoli. I'll
Hmm.
do some cauliflower, carrots, and I'll normally throw an onion in there.
Right.
And then for the fats, I'll have olive oil because I'll actually put extra virgin olive oil with my vegetables. So that's
Yep.
another healthier fat. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
that's meal number two. Now, the
Hmm.
third meal for the day, normally I would probably have maybe like salmon. So salmon would be my third protein for the day. My carb would probably be maybe white rice, which white rice
Hmm.
gets a bad rap. It's actually not bad for you at all.
Yeah. Is it? And I might be wrong here, and you may not know either. Isn't it technically better than brown rice?
Yeah, that's what Sean Stevenson said.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a false perception that all of its nutrients are stripped,
Right.
but it's not the case.
Right.
So it's actually, yeah, I actually find it more satiating than brown
Yep.
rice and
Right.
tastes better. So
Right.
and then your fats, I'll probably have some more avocado. Now you could also have a good source of cheese. So don't fuck with American cheese because it's American. That's garbage cheese. So
But it's so good.
sea salt. But so like that's an example of like breakfast,
Right.
lunch, and dinner. So something easy. So again, if
Yeah.
you think about it that way, if you break your plate into those four categories, a protein,
Hmm.
a carb, a veggie, and a fat, you are going to be on the way to living a nutritious life.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
making those simple hacks.
Yeah. And when you get used to it and you know like what categories things fall into, it's easier. Like you're not so focused on like trying to like focus on those four categories and say, okay, I got this, check, fat,
Yeah,
carbs. Like you kind of can just look at your food and be like, all right, I know exactly what's here. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So you just have to understand like kind of what foods fall into what
yeah.
categories and these kind of things, right? And I'll
And
get
like
into that in a second here. Go ahead, BG.
one challenge too is again, I think when people say they need to eat healthy, they think typically salad, right? So this is
Yeah,
stemming away from salad, okay?
yeah, yeah.
Because
Right,
when you
right.
have salad, sometimes you may have a little bit of protein on top, maybe
Hmm.
like a chicken salad or something, but you're not having a substantial amount of protein, which
Right,
means you're not going to be necessarily full after you have your salad, right? You're probably going to
right.
be hungry within an hour and a half or something,
Yep,
when
yep.
if you do something like this, you're going to be fuller a lot longer.
Protein is the king of nutrition, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's the ultimate like fixer upper for your body.
yeah,
It does everything. You want to lose weight, eat protein. You want to gain weight, eat protein. As weird as it
yeah,
sounds, right? Like
it's
obviously there's
true.
different variables that go into it, but like you have to incorporate some kind of protein in your major meals.
Yeah,
It's extremely valuable, and there's different ways you can do it. Like you're a vegan, right?
yep,
You know
Well,
what I mean? Well,
vegan-ish,
for
because
yeah, vegan-ish, right? Right. But like for the you don't eat like red meats or chicken, nothing like that, right?
right.
So,
Well, technically, eggs is
I
chicken.
yeah, baby birds, yeah. So
Shit.
I'm trying to, all right, man,
I
what is
know, man, but I'm
exposing
sure
you right
I
now,
know, I know,
fraud.
but I
So,
know. Take it easy.
no, but like, but for me, like, you know, I'm a big eggs guy. Obviously, like I start my mornings off every morning, 5 eggs, and I'll throw in a cup of berries with it, blueberries, blackberries usually. Um, then I'll roll into like midday snack where it's like usually some like a banana or an apple or something like that. Lunch is always some kind of protein, doesn't matter. And the way I structure my day with my meals like that, where like if I cook dinner, and I'm primarily the one who cooks in the house. So when I cook dinner and I'm cooking a meat, I just make a shitload of it. Like it'll just be me and Danny generally eating it, but I make
Yep,
a bunch of it. That way I just have a bunch of leftovers. Like I
absolutely.
don't make all these individual containers every week and like do this intense meal planning stuff. No, I just make like a you know a 6 or 8 pack of chicken breasts. If it's just Danny and I,
Yeah,
I'll make all of them and I'll just have them for the week, right?
yeah,
Or if it's steak, whatever it is, I'll get a couple steaks, 2 big steaks, and she doesn't eat much, and not as I'll crush the rest throughout the week. So there's really no like heavy planning in it. It's just having the right stuff available for me to have for lunch that day,
yeah,
or have for dinner that night if I need dinner for whatever reason. So, um, but like I said, I'm not a big snacker, so like the in between parts of the days are pretty easy too. Like I just make sometimes I'll have a shake or whatever it is, or I'll make a different kind of shake with some greens and some oats with some honey and banana. Like I'll make like a shake like that where like you can find things that taste really good and are really good for you and have
yeah,
a lot of the things that we're talking about here. You know what I mean? That hits all these
yeah,
categories. So that's kind of what my day generally looks like. But
yep,
kind of going back to what we were talking about, where like you can kind of eyeball food and figure it out. And with this study, especially, man, like it's
yeah.
crazy.
It's
Like
wild.
with the basic vitamins and stuff like that, just to kind of give you guys an idea here, right? Because a lot of you may not know some of these things, and I did want to go over them. So some important things that I know you and I value in our meals and our nutrition, right? So
Absolutely.
fiber's underrated, right?
Yep.
Fiber's very underrated and probably really underutilized by most people. Okay, so fiber controls and helps your bowel health, lowers cholesterol, controls blood sugar, aids in achieving healthy weight as well. Right,
And
so
so
fiber is
is
very
it?
important.
And so for you, what source of
Yeah.
fiber do you normally try to get like on a daily
Right.
basis?
So I get a lot of it through my fruit. Right.
Yeah.
That's primarily where like a lot of my fiber goes through because I love
Okay.
fruit. I think it's perfect. I start my day with it, so it's a great source of where I'm getting it to start my day, which I think is extremely important to start your day with it.
Yeah.
So like apples, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, oranges, grapes, pineapple, broccoli, potatoes, like all these things have a lot of fiber.
Yeah.
Um, so like try to find some of those things you like to get your fiber, right?
Yeah.
Um, like I,
Put flaxseed
just gonna
in
say
my
that I know
oatmeal.
you're a
Yeah.
flaxseed guy.
Yeah.
I've never
Ground.
actually used flaxseed.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you should try it.
Never have, dude. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's another great source because it's easy, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
worry about actually eating something generally. You can just put it with, like you said, your oatmeal.
Yeah. And 2 tablespoons
Um,
is your daily amount. That's all you need.
right, which isn't a lot, right? So,
No, no.
not a lot at all. So, fiber is very important. Vitamin A. Vitamin A helps your vision, helps your immune system, helps your heart, your lungs, your organs, and with their functions. Where you're going to find your vitamin A: spinach, carrots, broccoli, sweet potatoes, right? Like you like something in that category, so
Yeah.
eat those things to if you're having deficiencies in those areas. Vitamin B helps your metabolism, helps create new blood cells, helps your skin and your brain cells. Vitamin B is very important. You and I take vitamin B supplements as well on
Oh
top
yeah.
of what we get through our nutrition.
Yeah, because it helps with
Um,
cognition too.
Incredible impact on your cognition.
Yeah.
Incredible impact on your cognition. I'm telling you, like you take a vitamin B, I think B12 specifically,
That's what I
is
take.
and that's that vitamin. And there's it's funny because we listen to interviews on this stuff and all that, but like people will say like I take it and I legitimately feel different the moment I take it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like your cognition and the way you think and how like your focus on things is just different.
Feel
Um,
sharp.
you feel sharp. You're gonna find that vitamin B, eggs, fish, red meat, chicken, bananas. Those are some things, just some examples you'll find your vitamin B in for natural foods. Um, Vitamin C boosts antioxidant levels, right? Lowers your blood pressure, improves your iron absorption, immunity, reducing heart disease. Vitamin C also very important. Grapefruit, oranges, berries, broccoli, kale, pineapple, right? Like everybody eats these things, and this is kind of what I'm trying to
Absolutely.
get across here. Potassium supports normal blood pressure, maintains a normal level of fluid in our cells, right? Potassium, bananas, spinach, watermelon. Um, a lot of these foods are just fresh fruits and vegetables, guys. It's
Yeah.
really basic, and it's stuff that you can apply to every single meal.
And if you
So,
take exactly, if you take some of those and
yep,
just put it in your meal or make a meal out of that,
right.
you're having a great either
You will
breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You feel great
dude,
too.
you'll feel different. Like you will
Yeah.
legitimately feel different.
Yeah.
Um, so there's, the food and all that you're gonna find in a lot of the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. But you're also gonna be more hydrated from having these things too, because like
Absolutely.
there's if you look up and if you Google it, whatever it is, like you can look up a chart, but it's pretty much like it's called like eat your water, and it gives you foods that are really high in like water content, right? And it'll
Yeah.
how well they'll hydrate you and stuff like that too.
True. That's
Um,
that's good.
but we cannot overstate how important hydration is too, dude.
And this is the thing too, is I've talked about this numerous times, but it has to be said. Okay,
Say it.
hydration made easy. You know how I am with my mineral cocktail, right?
I know. I know.
But the easiest way to understand how much water you need to consume on a daily basis is literally take your weight, divide it in half, and that's the amount in ounces that you need to drink on a daily basis. I'm
Right.
working with my mom. I'm training my mom right now. One of the biggest impacts that she's had and has made is by drinking enough water.
Yeah.
She said she has more energy, she's
Yep.
more focused. It's huge. That's just from changing her hydration, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, does Nance listen to this
I think here and there.
here and there? Well, I mean, I'm just saying what
I
you've been
give her a
telling me,
shout out.
Nance, you're kicking ass on this
That's
training
right.
with your son here too. By the way, I heard you're running, so if you're listening, shout out to Nance
Yeah.
because it's going
I,
down. I'm proud
I
of you,
had her.
Nance.
Yeah, I had her doing some agility stuff. I had her do a little bit of ladder action today. Dude, she killed
Look,
it.
what?
Yeah, she
Nance.
killed it. She
All
killed it.
right, I love it.
So, what I also want to talk about is electrolytes. We also hear
Ooh.
Gatorade as like the king of the drink for electrolytes. Okay, and I'm sorry to be the guy that's going to bum everybody out, but that is loaded with sugar. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
even
Added
the
sugar.
even the zero sugar Gatorades. You take a look at the ingredients; they're hiding sugar in there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's not free from sugar.
No.
Okay,
No.
so what are electrolytes? It's minerals like sodium, calcium, potassium, and they regulate the nerve and muscle function. Okay,
Yes.
so when you hydrate the body, it balances the blood acidity and pressure and helps rebuild the damaged tissue.
Yes.
So, what I drink on a daily basis every single morning is the mineral cocktail,
Mm-hmm.
and it is water, lukewarm water, okay, Himalayan sea salt, about a eighth to a fourth of a teaspoon,
Mm-hmm.
and lemon, okay. Now, why lemon, you may ask? As I mentioned with the electrolytes, there's essential minerals, sodium, calcium, and potassium. Lemons contain vitamin A, B6, and vitamin C. And they also contain iron and potassium.
Mm-hmm.
So that mineral cocktail that I drink is a superpower electrolyte drink. When I
Yep.
have that in the morning, I feel phenomenal. I wake up like I instantly feel like I just had 3 cups of coffee, and I
Right.
don't consume coffee. I consume a very high stim pre-workout, but that's a little later down the road. But I'm telling you right now, start drinking that specifically in the morning. But this is
Yep.
this is a magic drink. I'm telling you right now. My
Yep.
mom actually, she drinks it now too. It's funny. Drinks it in the morning.
Does she
She's like,
really? She drinks it
yeah,
too?
she drinks it too. Yeah, in the morning, and
Dang.
she goes, I feel really good after it. And I'm like, it's true. It wakes up your body. It
Yeah,
wakes up your body because
it
you're
does.
consuming electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. And I think salt gets a bad rap. Like
Totally.
we talk about some stuff that's kind of like eggs get a bad rap, right? Like even olive oil, people like have misconceptions about olive oil too. But
Right.
like salt's one of those things, one of those like dirty words where people associate that with heart attacks and stuff like that. And salt is really important.
It
We're
is.
not sitting here telling you to take tablespoons of salt to the face, but like it is like okay, when you sweat and it leaves white stains, why do you think that is? It's because sodium is escaping your body. That's what's leaving
Yeah.
your body when you sweat. So you have to replenish that. And it's like there's there's a like we said, a misconception of it, and it's something that I think people do not think of when they talk about electrolytes and hydration. Salt is like probably the last thing that comes to mind,
Yeah.
and it's like you said, Gatorade and shit like that. But that's not really what it is, and that's really going to help you in preventing dehydration because like 75% of Americans are actively dehydrated every day.
That's wild.
75%.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
and it it
Because the thing
impacts
too is
me.
like
Go ahead. I'm
with
sorry.
hydration, man, like with hydration, especially if
Yep.
it's like prolonged or repeated bouts of dehydration, that can cause urinary tract infections, kidney
Yes.
stones,
Right.
and kidney failure. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not something to joke around with because you're
Yeah.
missing an
Like
opportunity to really hydrate your body so that it optimally performs.
right. You're and people who are tired throughout the day. You're tired because you're dehydrated probably. You hear
100%.
that sound right now? That's big homie taking a big gulp. Okay.
That's right.
But like it's true though. You're very likely just dehydrated.
Yeah.
And BG, what's the first thing we do when we wake up?
We drink water.
We drink
Very,
water.
yeah,
The
after I
very
brush my
first thing we
teeth.
do.
Yeah, well, after I
You brush
brush
your
my
teeth
teeth.
first?
Yeah, I brush my teeth and put
That's
my
the
gym clothes
first
on, and
thing
then
you
I go
do when
down.
you wake up is brush your teeth?
Yes. I put water in my face, put my gym clothes on, and then I go down and have my water.
Wow.
Yeah. Learn something new every day.
I guess so. I always wait to brush my teeth until after the shower.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Just
don't know
works
why.
for me. I don't like
Do
morning
do
breath.
your thing, bro. Do your thing. You're
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, so like that's the first thing we do. We
Yeah.
hydrate right away. But like you also can't drink anything the day before, wake up, have a glass of water, and be like, I'm hydrated. It's
Right.
just like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
hydration starts like that old phrase, hydration starts the day before, you know?
Yeah.
So just stay on top of it every day. And that's where you're gonna remain hydrated. But yeah, I mean to think that 75% of Americans are dehydrated every day, well, no wonder everyone's a fucking tired zombie all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's no
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah. And if you're like, well, I don't want to go to bed and pee all night long, well, then
Right.
stop drinking water 3 hours before you go to bed. Like that's the simple rule.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
let's be
that
real.
that's another rule you follow too. Like
Yeah.
usually, right? Like
Yeah.
what's
But I
like the
still,
3-2-1 rule?
yeah, but I still freaking piss in the middle of the night. Like I
Exactly. I
normally
mean,
piss like once or twice. Do I give a fuck? No. I get up, I pee, I go back to bed.
right.
I
Exactly.
pass
Yeah.
the fuck out. You know?
That's it, man. I am. That's what I'm like. When I'm from like 30, it was like, yeah, I am officially. I wake up in the middle of the night to pee years old. Like that's just how
Yeah.
old I am now. So
It
it's
just
like, you know what?
happens.
It's fine. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But like, I'll take that trade off of not feeling like shit every day either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Absolutely.
pretty much for the most part, all I drink is just water and milk. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, um, yeah, the hydration cannot be overstated enough. It's going to
They come
help you
hand in hand.
digest all the food. Like it does
Yeah.
everything for you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like I
It even
said, there's
helps with
food too.
satiety. Like if
Right.
you are experiencing a craving, drink water
Right.
because then you're gonna get full. Just like little
Yeah.
hacks like that. Try to spur your craving. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we tried to make this pretty easy and kind of see where you can make those changes that are pretty easy for you guys to incorporate in your lives. we're not these health, nuts where we don't eat sweets ever, or I mean, we have our days, right? We have our moments where we
A
we have
week.
to go to a party or whatever. Yeah, maybe not a week, but yeah, like this past weekend, your boy ate like shit. We talked about it at the men's group. Like I just ate
I
like a
know,
like
yeah.
a hog over the weekend, and I had zero regrets. So, so it's just sometimes, like it just is what it is. If you just apply the 80-20 rule, work your best, something's happening on the other side. Where's
My
your cramp,
friend.
my guy?
Oh my
Where?
God, my hamstring. Fuck. Oh my God, sorry.
You good?
Yeah, I never had that.
You never had a cramp in your hamstring?
Not like that, just fucking sitting.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it had to have been like in the middle of the night. I like kind of stretched my legs out. Like I woke up for a second, I saw like I stretched, and I got a cramp in my groin, which was like the weirdest
That's
thing. But it was like right when I
strange.
stretched, dude,
Yeah.
like the same thing as you, like jolted me though.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
that's yeah, yeah, you're good, man. You're okay.
Dehydrated.
Maybe
I'm dehydrated.
say you gotta hydrate, my guy. It's all that running we
Yeah,
did tonight.
that's right. That's right.
So
True.
guys, eat the right foods. Like if you ever have questions on like what to eat, just really like the easiest hack that I always talk, to people about who ask me about it, something like that. It's just eat natural whole foods. Like
Yeah.
just find shit you like in that realm. It's really not
Yeah.
hard. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be like this weirdo who like, is like the trying to figure out to the T all the nutritional facts on everything they put in their face. It's just eliminate processed foods, eat more whole foods, and hydrate.
And
You'll feel
always
great.
have protein on your plate. Always
Always
have
have protein
protein
on
on
your plate.
your. Yep.
Always, 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 always. And whey protein is not the solution. That shit is most of the time a lot of garbage too. Just so you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So we hope this was a little bit helpful. I mean, it's something that we talk about all the time amongst ourselves, and we'll kind of put some stuff up on our shows on our socials too, to kind of give you guys some of these tips throughout the week as well. But just eat healthy, eat right, eat natural, eat all that good stuff that's not processed, and it'll change your life and your thinking. So
That's right. Hit us up on social media. You can find us on our website, modelmindsetfitnessandcoaching.com. Anything you need, whether it be personal training, group training, speaking engagements, reach out to us. We'll train your teams, anything. But we're here to help.
absolutely, we're getting a lot of requests. Our summer is actually filling up pretty quickly here. We're doing some camps, and they are doing really well. We're getting a lot of additional requests from parents and other people. So yeah, you guys need us. Hit us up because we got to. We're looking to make room now, which is nice. So
Yeah, that's right.
all right, guys. Have a great week. We'll catch you guys on Monday for our usual Model Mindset Monday. Catch you guys there. Have a great week.